After 70, most people assume intimacy is over. Doctors stop asking, friends stop talking, and you start wondering if that part of your life is just gone. But what if it's not? What if sex after 70 isn't the end, but a new beginning? In this video, we're breaking the silence and uncovering 5 truths that could completely change how you see connection, desire, and even your health. Have you ever felt like no one talks about this part of aging? Tell us in the comments, what does intimacy mean to you now?
Have you ever been told that sex after 70 doesn't matter anymore? That it's something you should let go of, like it's part of your past, not your present? If so, you're not alone. And you're not wrong to question that. Because here's the truth most people don't talk about. Intimacy doesn't have an expiration date. In fact, for many people over 70, it becomes more meaningful, more tender, and more powerful than ever before. It just looks a little different. And that's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. Today, I want to talk to you like a friend. One who gets it. The aches, the changes, the quiet doubts you sometimes have when the lights go off and it's just you and your thoughts. You might be wondering if you're still desirable, if your body still remembers what it once loved, if it's too late to reignite that spark. The answer is simple. It's not. This conversation matters because staying connected, both physically and emotionally, has incredible benefits for your health, your spirit, and your quality of life. And yes, that includes sex, even after 70. So let's open the door on a topic that deserves the light. Let's talk about 5 surprising truths about sex after 70, ones that might just shift the way you think about intimacy forever. Let's start with this first truth. Your desire isn't gone. It's just quieter. As we age, our bodies change. That's no secret. Hormones shift, energy dips, and sometimes what once lit you up doesn't spark quite the same way. But here's the thing. Desire doesn't vanish. It changes shape. It softens. It deepens. And sometimes it hides under layers of stress, medication side effects, loneliness, or just plain old routine. You may not feel that fiery urgency you had at 40. And that's okay, because what takes its place can be even more meaningful. The longing for touch, closeness, being seen, a deep craving for connection, not performance, not pressure. Just presence. And that kind of desire, it's powerful. It can stir you awake after years of feeling numb. You just have to listen for it gently. Give it permission to return. And remember, there's no normal timeline. There's just yours. Now let's talk about truth number 2. Performance matters less than connection. So many people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond still carry old expectations about what sex should look like. And when their bodies can't keep up the same way, they feel embarrassed, disappointed, maybe even broken. But that belief is the real problem, not your body. Let go of the idea that intimacy has to follow a script, that it has to involve penetration, or climax, or anything that feels like pressure. Because true intimacy isn't about performance. It's about connection. It's about closeness, skin on skin, breath with breath, a look across the room that says, I still want you. You can have a deeply satisfying sex life that's slower, gentler, more emotionally rich than anything you've ever experienced before. It's not about what you do. It's about how it makes you feel. That sigh of relief, that feeling of being wanted, that shared warmth that lingers even after the touch is over. That's what matters now. That's where the magic lives. And if you're wondering whether you're alone in this, you're not. Studies show that many people over 70 still enjoy a satisfying sex life, even if it looks completely different than it did decades ago, because they've embraced the shift. They've stopped chasing what was and started honoring what is. Truth number 3 is this: communication is the new foreplay. After 70, what turns you on isn't just what happens between the sheets. It's how safe, seen, and respected you feel with the person you're with. That's where everything begins. And that means talking. Honestly, tenderly, without shame. Talk about what feels good now, about what doesn't, about what's changed. Because your body might have new boundaries, new sensitivities, new rhythms. And the only way to discover what works is to speak up. And yes, that might feel awkward at first. Maybe you've never talked about sex openly in your life. But you deserve that kind of honesty. You've earned it. You don't need to be silent anymore. You can say what you want, what you miss, what you're curious about. Because here's the secret: the conversation itself can bring you closer. It can create intimacy before a single hand is touched. It tells your partner or even yourself, I'm still here. I still care. I still want to connect. And that is incredibly sexy. Now, maybe you're thinking, but I don't have a partner anymore. That brings us to another truth. Intimacy isn't just about having someone else in the room. You can still be intimate with yourself, in your thoughts, in the way you care for your body, in the moments you choose to feel pleasure without apology. Touching yourself isn't shameful. It's healing. And at this age, you don't need permission anymore. You are allowed to feel alive, desired, whole. This is the beauty of aging. You've lived, you've loved, you've learned what truly matters. And now you get to redefine what intimacy means on your terms. Because sex after 70 isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about returning to yourself and feeling the warmth of connection however you choose to experience it. There's more to uncover, but for now, just sit with this. You are still worthy of pleasure. You are still wired for closeness, and it's never too late to open the door again.
Truth number 4 is something many people never expect. Your emotional connection can deepen your physical pleasure more than ever before. You see, when we're younger, so much of intimacy can feel rushed. It's often driven by urgency, expectation, even ego. But as we age, something shifts. The emotional layers grow thicker. The history, the stories, the quiet understanding between two people, they all become part of the experience. After 70, when you're with someone you trust, someone who sees all of you and stays anyway, the intimacy becomes richer. You don't need to impress them. You don't need to hide your imperfections or pretend to be someone you're not. And that kind of safety, that kind of closeness, it opens up something deeply sensual, a tenderness that can't be rushed or faked. It's the feeling of a hand that's held yours for years. Or maybe the thrill of discovering someone new, who sees past your wrinkles and into your soul. It's the slow dance of familiarity or the soft excitement of rediscovery. And here's the secret. The nervous system responds to love. When you feel secure, your body relaxes. And when your body relaxes, pleasure becomes easier, more natural, more enjoyable. So if you've been feeling disconnected, emotionally, physically, or both,
Maybe what you need isn't more performance. Maybe you just need more closeness. A walk together. A quiet conversation. A hand on your back that lingers just a moment longer than usual. That might be the beginning of something beautiful. Now let's move to the fifth truth, and this one might surprise you the most. Intimacy can improve your health. Yes, truly. We often think of sex as something separate from health, something emotional, maybe even indulgent. But science disagrees. Research shows that regular physical affection, even gentle forms like hugging, kissing, or cuddling, has real physical benefits. It lowers blood pressure, boosts immune function, reduces stress, improves sleep, and yes, even supports cognitive health. Touch is powerful. So is connection. When you engage in intimacy, your brain releases oxytocin, sometimes called the love hormone. It creates feelings of trust, security, even joy. And that can ripple out into every other area of your life, your mood, your energy, even your willingness to stay socially connected and active. And let's not forget, emotional intimacy can also reduce feelings of loneliness, which is a serious health risk in older adults. In fact, loneliness has been linked to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, and even dementia. But connection, true loving connection, helps protect you. So no, sex after 70 isn't just about pleasure. It's about vitality. It's about staying engaged with life. It's about nurturing a part of yourself that still wants to feel, to love, to be seen. And if that connection leads to shared laughter in bed, or a slow kiss in the kitchen, or just holding hands on the couch, then you're already reaping the benefits. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with this truth. You are not done yet. Your body may have changed, but it's still worthy. Your desires may have softened, but they're still real. Your capacity for love, connection, and sensual joy hasn't disappeared. It's just waiting for you to say yes again. Yes to intimacy that meets you where you are. Yes to speaking your needs with honesty and compassion. Yes to letting go of outdated expectations and choosing what feels good now. And yes to the beautiful truth that sex after 70 isn't something to be ashamed of. It's something to be embraced. Because at this stage of life, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't need permission. You just need to listen to the quiet stirrings of your heart and say yes.
And maybe that yes doesn't come right away. Maybe you've been carrying shame, or grief, or fear. Maybe your body has gone through illness, loss, or trauma. Maybe it's been years since anyone touched you with tenderness. That's okay. This isn't about rushing. It's not about forcing anything. It's about healing. And healing starts with acknowledging what you need, what you long for, what you deserve, even if part of you has tried to forget. If you've lost a partner, and the thought of being close to someone new feels overwhelming, know this: you don't need to replace what you had. You're allowed to hold space for love lost and still open your heart to love again, in whatever form feels right for you. You're allowed to be cautious, to move slow, to start small. Even the simplest moments, a gentle conversation, a warm hug, the act of sharing a meal, can spark a sense of connection. And that connection can grow into trust, into care, into intimacy, if you let it. And if you're in a relationship now, but feel like the spark has faded, here's the truth. It's not gone. It's just quiet, like a glowing ember under ashes. All it takes is a little oxygen, a little willingness to fan it back to life. You can start with something as simple as touch. Not sexual touch, just connection. Holding hands while watching TV. Sitting closer than usual. Looking into each other's eyes a little longer. Laughing together. Intimacy begins in those tiny, tender places. It's not about age. It's not about bodies that look like they did at 30. It's about presence, attunement, letting someone see you, really see you, and being brave enough to stay open. And yes, sometimes that means facing vulnerability. You might need to talk to your doctor about changes in your body, about medications affecting your desire, about physical limitations or discomfort. There's no shame in that. It's part of staying healthy, staying informed, and staying empowered. Medical support can make a difference, whether it's treating dryness, addressing erectile changes, or managing health conditions that affect intimacy. Help is available. You just have to ask. Because here's the deeper truth. You are not broken. You are evolving. You are still capable of giving and receiving love in ways that matter. And every chapter of your life, including this one, holds beauty, if you're willing to see it. So, if you've ever felt like this part of your life was over, if you've ever felt invisible or unwanted or unsure whether intimacy still belongs to you, let this be your reminder. You are still here. You are still whole. And you are still allowed to want, to feel, to love. Not like you did before, but in a way that's softer, deeper, wiser, and just maybe even better.
So, maybe tonight, after this video ends, you take a moment for yourself. You sit quietly, you put your hand over your heart, and you just breathe. Not for anyone else, not to meet some standard or expectation, but just to feel yourself again, to come home to the truth that's always been there. You are worthy of love, of closeness, of feeling alive in your skin. And if that next step feels too big, then don't take it yet. Just stay with the thought. Let it warm you. Let it melt away the old stories that say you're too old, too late, or too far gone. Because those stories, they're lies. What's true is this. You're still capable of passion, but now it comes with wisdom. You're still capable of desire, but now it's rooted in self-awareness and trust. And yes, you're still capable of intimacy. One that's slow, soulful, and real. There's something powerful about reaching this stage of life and realizing you don't have to chase anything anymore. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Present with your body, present with your emotions, present with the people who matter to you, or even just with yourself. That presence, that self-acceptance, is the beginning of everything. And maybe that's the greatest truth of all. Sex after 70 isn't a final chapter. It's a new beginning. One that doesn't have to look like anyone else's. One that gets to be as unique as you are. Whether you find joy in touch, in conversation, in laughter, in memory, or in quiet moments of closeness, it all counts. It all matters. So go easy on yourself. Be gentle. You've come this far, with all your stories, your lessons, your strength. Now give yourself permission to enjoy the richness of life again, to let love back in, to open the door even just a little. And if you do, you might just find that this season of life, with all its softness, its slowness,
and depth is the most beautiful one yet. Here's to living fully, loving freely, and never, ever giving up on joy. You deserve that. You always have.
And maybe, just maybe, this is the reminder you didn't know you needed. That even now, after all the years and all the changes, your story is still unfolding. Your heart still beats with hope. Your body still longs for warmth. And your spirit, it's not finished growing. Because real intimacy, the kind that fills you up instead of wearing you out, isn't bound by time. It's born in kindness, in patience, in showing up as you are. No masks, no pressure, just truth. And when you embrace that truth, something opens. You begin to see that pleasure isn't always about excitement. Sometimes it's about comfort. That attraction isn't always about appearance. Sometimes it's about feeling safe. And that connection isn't measured in moments, it's measured in meaning. So don't let anyone tell you it's too late. Don't let society's silence make you believe your desires have expired. They haven't. They've just matured. They've deepened. And now they're yours to explore without apology. Whether you're rediscovering love with a partner of many years, or finding it with someone new, or simply learning how to feel good in your own body again, know this. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to ask for what you need. You are allowed to enjoy the beautiful, sensual, emotional layers of intimacy at your own pace. And no, you don't owe anyone an explanation. This chapter, it's yours. So turn down the noise of judgment, turn up the volume on self-compassion, and lean into the possibilities that still exist and always have. You've survived so much. You've adapted, adjusted, endured. Now, it's time to enjoy, to soften, to receive. And if no one's told you this in a while, let me be the one to say it. You are still beautiful. You are still desirable. You are still wonderfully, powerfully human in all the ways that count. So take this moment. Let it settle in your bones. Let it remind you of your worth. And whenever you're ready, let love meet you there.
If there's one thing I hope you take from this, it's that intimacy doesn't end with age. It evolves. Sex after 70 isn't about chasing the past. It's about embracing the present. It's about connection over performance, meaning over mechanics, and love over fear. You are still worthy, still vibrant, still capable of deep, soulful joy. And whether you're just starting to rediscover that part of yourself or simply needed a reminder, know this, you're not alone on this journey. If this message spoke to your heart, I invite you to stay connected with us. Please subscribe to the channel, because here we talk about the things that matter. Real conversations, real healing, real hope at any age. Hit that like button if this video meant something to you. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. And don't forget to leave a comment. Your voice could inspire someone else today. Thank you for being here. And remember, it's never too late to love, to feel, and to live fully. We'll see you in the next video.